Against the president's will, the Democratic-led Congress agreed to expand a very popular children's health insurance program, better known as SCHIP. It comes with a $60 billion price tag and a loophole, GOP leaders say, covers kids who are here illegally. So, Stuart, a lot of conservatives are saying the SCHIP has hit the fan.
Well, you could put it like that, but I think the SCHIP expansion, that's what it really is a backdoor way for politicians to get control of healthcare, and I obviously oppose that. When you're talking about giving this kind of healthcare to the children of illegals, I doubly oppose it. That is wrong. We should not be doing that.
Tracy, what do you think?
Well, first of all, they still have to show some sort of proof of citizenry. The kids are only getting it free, so to speak, in emergency situations, and you got to help these kids. You know what? They were not brought here. Their parents put them in an awkward situation. If we cracked down on illegal immigrants to begin with, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. And I do agree with Stuart that this is a backdoor way into nationalized health care, and the government should stay out. But you can't fault these kids for what their parents did to them.
I think the issue is how much it expands, right?
Yeah, I mean, even beyond the illegal aspect, you know, like the eye of the storm is New York, which wants to raise the limit to 400% above poverty, which is $83,000. That's sort of ridiculous for the government to be paying the health care of people making that much money. And, you know, and again, it is a Trojan horse, if you will, and it really insults the intelligence of people. The president, you know, he's being, you know, portrayed as this mean, villainous guy who hates children. The fact of the matter is that this is out of control, and if you open this thing up, you're going to create tremendous problems that eventually leads to universal health care, which I think will hurt the country dramatically.
You know, obviously, for politicians who vote for this sort of thing, Regina, they don't want to look or go on record as doing anything that hurts kids, so which is why it's so many Republicans behind it, vulnerable Republicans. Where are we going with it?
Well, where we're going with it is, unfortunately, the president's going to veto it. And what's going to happen is you're going to leave a lot of needy kids out there who need assistance. And I'll speak from personal experience. By the time I was 14, I lived in over 25 homes that include foster homes, trailers, cars, in the back of shopping centers. And my siblings and I lived off of government subsidies. If it was not for Medicaid or government-funded health care, we would have died from our illnesses and injuries.
But were you a legal resident throughout?
I was a legal resident, but illegal or illegal, I was still a child that had no control over my situation. These children, whether they're here legally or illegally, have no control over their situation. And we should be providing health care. And I'll tell you why, because it was a little hypocritical statement that President Bush made this week at the UN General Assembly. On Tuesday, when he spoke to the General Assembly, he said, we would be at fault if we allow a child to starve to death, or if we allow a child to die from a mosquito bite, and that every country needs to provide for healthy children. He said this.
Well, we don't have a limit. We don't have a limitless well, right?
No, but he
it's
also
good intentions but also have a price, right?
Yes, but his price is he committed $30 billion.
We have a tough enough time taking care of those who are from here.
Yes.
Now you're saying expand it to those who aren't from here.
No, he's saying expand that.
No, but
yes.
I'm saying that you realize there's a limit on how much money we have, right?
Yes, there is a limit.
Okay, Gary, what do you make of this?
Neil, look, there's a lot of things in this bill I don't like. I don't like the fact that 21-year-olds define the word child, and there is an expansion of health care. But how do you say to a kid, an innocent kid that came on the back of his parents to try for a better life, and say to him, you got pneumonia, go to Tijuana General, you can't come here? That's ridiculous, and it's silly. And I got to tell you something, it does not play well for the Republican Party politically at this point in time.
It doesn't play well, but the bottom line is kids aren't dying. The children of illegal immigrants aren't dying. If you take a child to the hospital, to the emergency room, they're taken care of. So I'm confused about this notion that's being portrayed here today, Regina, that somehow we're letting these kids die.
Yeah, but by the time a children do not go to doctors. By the time they go into emergency room, they have pneumonia.
That's not their fault again. That's their parents' fault. That's not their fault. That's not Bush's fault.
But by providing services to allow them to go to physicians beforehand.
So should we pay for their braces? Should we pay for the braces of kids who are here illegally?
My braces were never paid for out of government subsidies, and they're not going to be paid for as well.
So
we're not paying for their braces.
Where do we draw the line?
But I think this comes down again to the illegal immigration issue. If we tackle that from the beginning, and the big picture is get the people here.
Guys, you know, you're all smarter than I am, but does anyone understand what illegal means? you shouldn't be here.
Exactly.
And now we're setting up an elaborate program as this, well, they're here anyway, they're kids, we got to justify it, so we got to spend the money. They're not supposed to be here.
It's counting for votes. It
Exactly.
is buying votes in the population. That's what it's doing. It's politicians saying, we'll give you this coverage for the children, vote for me. You then give political control to our healthcare system. You become beholden to politicians.
This is, by the way, and Gary, I want to ask you this, because I know you have a big heart, you're a very generous guy, I know what you do on the charity side.
Thank you.
Here's the problem, Gary, that this comes in the environment of not what we're doing for kids, but providing licenses in California for illegals so they can go to jobs that they shouldn't be going to, and providing benefits for kids who shouldn't be here. It is a slippery slope, and good intentions get to be an even more expensive issue. Do they not?
Look, it is a slippery slope. The bottom line, it does provide more incentive for illegal aliens to come and say, oh, I can now get health care because of the loophole. But I got news for you. The government allowed this to happen, and these people are now here. And look, the way I look at it, if they're working, they're following the rule of law, you got these kids here, you take care of them.
They're not following the rule of law. They're not, guys. Again, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. They're not supposed to be here.
Right. They shouldn't even be working here. We shouldn't even be. I mean, that's where it begins. But they shouldn't be. That's where we should start the crackdown.
So what would you do? Now, Regina has a big heart. She's been through this kind of experience as a legal resident. She had to go through this. Now she's saying, I don't want illegals to go through what I went through. What do you say?
It's their parents. Start from the top, get their parents out. I wouldn't deny a kid health care.
Well, the parents apparently aren't going. There are 12 million of the parents, right?
That's where we come. We have to take care of it.
All right, so now we're stuck with the kids' bills, essentially.
And you know what?
So do you think, Regina, that all of a sudden you keep the kids here, you have given engraved invitation to others to follow suit, because it's very hard to take the parents away from kids who are now covered by insurance.
Okay.
We have provided the incentive for more to break the law.
Neil, I'm a partner in a law firm now. I went from complete poverty to a partner in a law firm, paying taxes that covered the cost of my siblings and I when we were younger. If you take care of these kids while they're here, they're going to remain here, and they're going to be contributing back to society. I don't want it to be a license for other immigrants to come over here, but if these kids are here and they're here without choice, let's take care of them, because one day when they turn 18 or 21, they're going to be paying back.
All right, there's so much, Tracy, I want to argue with you more, but you're